Welcome to Friday Happy Talk, and where we are today going to discuss honoring you, honoring yourself, and honoring everything about you, which is like, of course, super big theme, right? Super big conversation. But we're going to start at one end and we're going to land at another end, right? So when we have, it's at least three-folded honoring yourself. So on one level, when we're talking regular day-to-day life, honoring yourself could mean to have healthier boundaries, right? To not allow other people to step all over you or to use you or to use your time. Or if you're in a relationship where it's not an even balance, where you do what you can to actually shift that balance. Now, a lot of times, in order for us to truthfully shift our energy or our outer reality, we need to shift our inner reality first. Our inner agreements inside of ourselves needs to shift so that we know that we can honor ourselves. So we know we have that right. So it's an innate right within you to honor yourself. Because that's one of those things that there's a lot of things in our modern society that has disappeared from what used to be a norm is not a norm anymore. When we look at and if you look at Native American society, the Lakotas, not everything is perfect, ever. No culture was ever perfect, but some parts of the Native American culture was beautiful, right? If you look at the Lakotas, and they talk about honor, to be honoring yourself, to honor others, to honor your word, like in the Toltec tradition, the 4 agreements: be true to your word. Which means do what you say you're going to do, or be true to you, which is then, so honor, another word of using the word honor is also honesty, right? It got the same fundament, the original, the same base of the word honor is honesty. So if you learn how to be honest, you also learn how to honor yourself and others. And those are traits that are completely left out of our society today, out of the conversation around life, in public life, in politics or in the media. Do you ever hear anybody talking about honor? Do you ever hear anybody say honesty? And unfortunately, because that's left the public conversation, it has also left many of ours minds, right? Like our state of mind. So there's like very little push for or impetus for being honest or honoring you or honoring others. Because if we get honor into our system again, there's no way. So, and I know this sounds horrible, but not horrible, but racism would not exist if we honor ourselves and others. Negative, toxic masculinity would not exist if we honor ourselves and others. Any kind of way where we put people down, and it doesn't have to be men, but toxic masculinity is not only belonging to men. Toxic masculinity is in everyone, male and female, men and women. We have a balance inside of us of masculine and feminine energies. When the masculine energies take over too much, they become toxic. And they become like, they run the show without knowing where to go, without being connected to Earth Mother. That's where the feminine comes in. Feminine being both nurturing, loving, caring, thoughtful, and connected, grounded into Earth Mother in a way that often the male energy kind of is not. We need each other. The female energy is connected to Earth Mother because of for different reasons. Many of them I don't know. Some of them I do know. The ability to make children inside of your body connects you to Earth Mother. It grounds you, even that ability in itself. And for the man, he needs the woman to feel grounded. So the masculine and the feminine within each one of us works sort of the same way. And when we're out of balance with the male and the female, we end up losing our way. And when we can honor ourselves when you can honor yourself, is a beautiful way for you and me, where we find a life we can trust, where life becomes real again, where it's not one way on on social media and one way in regular life, where it's not one way how we work and then we come home and we do something completely opposite. Or if you're a church member and you look great on Sunday, but you don't look very good on Monday or Friday night. Like that's honoring yourself. And then we come to the next level of honoring yourself, which is honoring your pain. Honoring who you are, like your experiences that are lodged in your body. Because all of us suffer emotional trauma through life. And it may not be as, like the word trauma sounds really big, right? So it doesn't have to be as big as like somebody dying right in front of you. It doesn't have to be as big as like really deeply disturbing images in your head. It could just be that you feel really lonely when you're a kid. It could be that you are rejected from your parents, by your parents when you were a kid. It could be stuff like that seemingly isn't that big. But for you, it left an imprint in your energetic body, in your emotional body. That became a programming. And when that programming starts to, and that pain, say that it gets stuck in your stomach. In order to not feel that pain, we develop strategies so we don't have to live with it. So we don't feel crazy, so we don't feel sad, so we don't feel left out, so we don't feel those feelings anymore. So we develop strategies. And those strategies can be either we dress a certain way, so we already, like if a little bit like I used to be kind of an emo kid, in that way that I would be an outcast already. I'd dress in as holy clothes as I could, as I would look as kind of almost as beat up as I could, just so I would already be rejected. So I wouldn't feel rejection, right? Because if you're trying to be part of and you're being pushed out, it's going to be much more painful. But if you're already ahead of that curve and you're pushing yourself out, then it doesn't hurt if you're rejected, because you feel like you chose it, right? And so all of us, we develop strategies. Drinking coffee, for me, drinking coffee was a way to keep my pain in my belly under control. And I used to feel like I had to screw my head on right in the mornings, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. That's a survival mechanism. That's a strategy that I figured out, my body figured out, in order for me to feel normal and functioning in society. But that's not always healthy for us. We're gonna run on empty, and we're gonna run out. And when we run out, that's when we hit the wall. That's when we don't know what to do any longer. And many of us, from my home country in Sweden, people talk about hitting the wall all the time. Not realizing that it's not your job. It's not the stressful part of your job. It's not the stresses of your having a family. It's stresses that are living inside of you already. These are triggers that are already there. And when we learn to look into the pain, honoring, see, this is where it comes in again, right? So we honor the experiences we had that made us feel a certain way, made us feel disconnected, disjointed, not a part of, made us feel ugly, like a freak, made us feel bad. Our strategies that cover that up, if we can go in and honor the original pain and sit with it in meditation and breathe into it. And it can be painful, it can be hard. And if you need help, please hit me up. Please write to me. I'm super happy to sit with you so you can have the safe space. Because that's the thing, when we're in a safe space, we can face those fears. Because the other part of that fear is that that's your shadow. Your shadow lives right there. And it comes out sideways. Shadow has different levels. There's shadow level on when we are judging something. We often judge it because we have it ourselves. But in this case, our pain where it lives and then our strategies to keep it down has become part of the shadow. And it can be very hard to face that on your own. But if you have somebody with you, if you're sitting with another person, it's not as bad. And especially if that person has the ability to hold space for you. I'm lucky to have somebody in my life who can hold space for me, and I love holding space for others. So that's the other part of honoring, right? First part was the physical, outer level, societal part of honoring yourself, being honest. The next part is now we're going into ourselves and we're honoring our pain. And we're being honest about our pain or suffering, or because some of us, we all have different connotations connected to different words, right? And pain sounds so big. It could just be like stubbed, pinky toe, but it's still there. It's still real. And we got to be honest with ourselves about it. And as we figure out how to be honest, as we go back into those feelings, and sometimes memories will pop up in connection to the feeling, and sometimes we will get sucked into the story. And there's nothing wrong with that, because it's going to happen. It's natural. But at the same time, when we go into story, it's very easy to get stuck in the pain and just fuel the pain even more. And right now, what we are doing, we're going into the feeling of the pain. We're not going into the story. It's okay to feel the story. It's okay to have it, to be like, oh shit, yeah, that was rough. Yeah, that was not easy. Or that was horrible. It's okay to feel that way and to see it that way, because honoring yourself means honoring these experiences too. So if somebody's gone through something hard, it's been hard and it's okay. Honor it. Honesty and honor it, right? So the solution for it is to sit with it and breathe into it. And watch what strategies you have developed to avoid your pain. My ego was developing these, or I developed these strategies of like, okay, so I gotta feel right, so I have to put myself together right in the morning, either in meditation or in drinking the first 1, 2, 3 cups of coffee, whatever it is that I needed to do to feel like I was put together right. And unfortunately, when I do that, I'm disconnected both from the pain, that's my goal, right? But I'm also disconnected from heart. I'm disconnected from what's really going on within me. And when you're disconnected, you're not living in reality. You're not being true to yourself. And you're not honoring yourself or your pain, and you're not honest with yourself. All of this will lead into when you find a way to be honest with yourself and honor yourself, it leads into a beautiful life of freedom, of strength, of power. And not this where you have to think right so that you can, not this like forceful, which I now feel is a little bit of a toxic masculinity trait, is like, just go out and do it, just like, for me, that has become a bit of a toxic masculinity thing. Because it's so process oriented. It's so oriented in like moving away from your feelings, moving forward in a way that truthfully, you're going to have to keep running if you're not going to, because the feelings are with you. They're going to catch up. You cannot run away from yourself. Many of us try. And I didn't know it, but I was trying by mental postures for many, many years. I'm 48. 40 years of my life probably. Or maybe, I don't know. It's been years now that I've been on this path, but it's a path that keeps growing and changing and deepening. So hard to tell when all this happened, But so, second part was honoring your pain, seeing it, being honest with it, and breathing into it, releasing it. Now, the third part of honoring yourself, honoring you, is to take your spiritual work. Basically, we can also use the word mental health, because this is mental, emotional well-being work. But let's call it spiritual work, right? Honoring you means taking your spiritual self seriously, taking your emotional well-being seriously, being real within you, with you. So you do your meditation. So you do your yoga. So you do find your peace in your heart. You don't have to you can do any kind of, if you want to do physical workout, you can do anything. You can, go to work, go and do your things, but go from your heart. Honoring your body, honoring yourself, meaning follow the first 2 steps of this 3-step part of honor yourself, honor you. So we have going on the practical level, the outside level, honoring your word, honoring yourself with other people at work and etc. and family and all that. And also being true. I have quite a few friends who aren't truthful in their lives, who think that it's okay to manipulate and lie wherever they go. And it's gonna hurt. It hurts you and it hurts others. Because it's an energetic thing. It's on your energy level where it hurts you, and it hurts others too. Plus, you think everybody else are lying too. You can't trust anybody. It's a beautiful process of learning how to be honest. So, outer side of honoring yourself, inner side of honoring your pain, looking into it and breathing into it and releasing it, sitting with it. Sit with the sadness, and it's okay. And if it takes weeks or months for it to release, that's okay too. That's part of the process. Underneath that pain and the sadness is the light. Underneath of that is your light's going to shoot up, and it's going to activate your chakra system, your root, your sacral chakra, all the chakras, and you're going to sit in beauty. We just have to reveal it. We have to remove the pain that's sitting on top of it. And then honor your spiritual growth, yourself. Honor your life. This is your life. We only have this life as far as we are here and now. When we go deeper into the teachings, yes, we are eternal. The life energy inside of me, my essence, is eternal. But this life here and now is the only life I have now. So honor it. Honor yourself. All right. Be true, my friends. Lots of love. Hopefully not too preachy today. Please click like and subscribe. And if you like it, share it. Share this message. Yeah. Thank you. Namaste. And